Good evening, student. I hope everyone is doing great in their home, and I hope you are seeing these PPTs that I am sending to you, and you are making the notes as well. So for today's lecture, I am taking up Unit 4, next topic, that is Gatt and WTO. This is one of the biggest reform that has takes place in the world economy regarding the agreements on tariff and trades. Basically, the first agreement that has been taken place where after the completion of the World War II, because at the time of World War, the various trade that are being there in the economy was at came into end, because it is it has a devastating thing that has been occurred during the World War II. Now for this, what if the for making the strengthening the world economy, the general agreement on tariff and trade, that is Gatt, has been formed, and this is basically implemented so that they can boost the economic recovery, and they are also helping to increase the international trades. The main purpose of the GATT was to increase the international trade by reducing the tariff. Tariff is basically the tax which are levied on the goods when they are being exported or imported to the countries. Then they are also having various problem regarding the quota, and that is has to be reduced. So that's why this GATT has came into being, and various subsidies has been provided to the various member countries so that they can do their trade in the best possible manner. The next thing, that when it has came into being, the GATT has came into being on 1st January 1948. This is basically signed by the 23 countries. The GATT was refined over a decades, and there were 123 countries that have created the WTO. Basically, WTO is World Trade Organization, which is a you can say that here in the general in GATT agreements, there every time the rounds has been taken place. There were 8 rounds that has been taken place when the GATT was there, and Urge round, that is the latest round of the GATT, which has came up with the concept of WTO. Actually, the problem is that with the GATT, that they are not able to implement the rules and regulations, or the tariffs are not being implemented in the best possible manner. So the countries have decided to reform the changes and make the organization which is going to hold this thing, which is going to hold the international trade in the best possible manner. So that's why the WTO came into being. GATT is basically grew with the Bretton Woods Conference and the Bretton Woods Agreement, which takes place in the Bretton Woods. Bretton Woods is a city where this particular meeting has been held regarding the GATT, and because of that, the you can say that after making various changes, the Urge is a place where this meeting has been conducted, and on the result of it, the two major supranational powers that came to strengthen the trade international trade in the world economy, that is the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund, that is well known by the term that is called as IMF, which help in the global growth. You can see that everywhere, wherever the problem related to the trade come across, these two names are there in the economy, because they are going to sort out the things in the best possible manner they can do for their member countries. Now let's talk about some of the things that are there related with the GATT. Basically, the GATT is neither an organization nor a court of justice. It is basically a multinational treaty which covers the 80% of the world trade. Basically, GATT was as the word itself suggests, that general agreement on tariff and trades. Basically, the members countries, who are the member countries of this treaty, has signed a treaty that if we are going to make a transaction between the countries, the laws, the tariff, the rules, the quotas, everything will be at the subsidized rate, so that the international trade will be takes place easily. We can see this thing right now, we if we want to buy the things from any of the country, from UK or US, it has been easily imported to our country. But previously, when the era of 1947 or before independence, this was not there in the thing, and because of that our international trade was hampered, and the people were not able to make the trade in the best make the trade. And because of that, what happened, the growth of every economy has been suppressing down. So to make this thing proper, this decision body has came into being, so that they can liberalize the trade, and they will be providing the platform to the member country to negotiate on the trade problems, and to solve the problems which will be which will help to make the trade in the best possible manner. So here it called for the consultation for waiving of the various of the trade obligations, tariff, because everyone know that if the rules and regulation is too much for the country while exporting or importing, you won't be exporting or importing the goods. So for supporting the international trade, they what they have doing, by calling the member countries, they are settling down, they making a treaty where both the countries can do the trade in the easiest possible manner, with less of taxes, and there should be liberalization, and basically there should be the there should be less of obligation, so that they can do their transaction. Then GATT has been the permanent international organization, which had the headquarters at Geneva. The 25 government has signed this treaty firstly, and later on this government has been increased. The basic function of the GATT was to call the international conferences to decide the trade liberalization on multilateral basis. Multilateral basis basically means that on various things, it's not only about the sale of the goods and goods, but also on the various, if any dispute is there, if you want to change it, the government wants to change the taxes, everything will be there. Multilateral means various kind of transaction has been taken place. Now let's see that what are the main objectives of the GATT. By reducing the tariff barrier, eliminating discrimination in international trade, the GATT is majorly focusing on these areas. First, expansion of international trade. No matter what the condition is, their motto is to increase the international trade. And how they are going to increase is by making a treaty between the member countries, so that they can subside the tariff, and they will be easily increasing the international trade between the different countries. Next, it help in increase in the world production, and which will resulting in the full employment. See, all these organizations are majorly focusing on the employment thing. Reason being, if the employment is there in the economy, definitely the work will be performed in the best possible manner. Then the next is the development and the full utilization of the world resources. Definitely, there everyone know this thing. In our India has a good human power. The US is having more technological power. The China, Japan, they are more technological pro countries. So with the help of this GATT, what they were trying to do, they are trying to make a coordination between every resources which are available in the world economy. They can easily move out of the country, so that they can work in a best possible manner. Our India can also use the technology, and our human resource can be used by them, so that they can get the best output out of it. The next one is the raising the standard of living of the world community as a whole. Yes, definitely, if we are working properly, if we are having employment, if we are using the good products, definitely the standard of living will be increased. And this is the major motive of the GATT. The next is basically the rules that are being adopted by the and treated as the fundamental principle. First, trade should be conducted in non-discriminatory basis. Means an equal eye for each member country. It is not that one is the GATT peoples are basically the head is going to be biased for one. It will be equal for all, and whatever the rule will be there, the principle are being made, it was made for everyone. The use of quantitative restrictions should be commended. See, quota system, let me explain what it is. Quota system is basically what you can only supply a few amount of goods to the different country, or you can import the few amount of goods from the other countries. Basically here what they have done, the illegal things, or you can say that there are only few things they have restricted, rest they have made that there should not be the quota system, and there should be less of tariff, so that this international trade can boom. Then disagreement should be resolved through consultation. Definitely they are giving the platform to the member country to talk about what is the problem, where they are having the disopinion or disagreement, so that disagreement can be solved easily. So in short we can say that GATT is majorly focusing to improvise the international trade by eliminating the discrimination and by making the free trade, so that it will help to increase the world trade and its prosperity. See, now because of the various problem, the last in the last round of the GATT, that is Urge round, the eighth round that has been conducted in the year 1995. So at the end, this system came into being, that is called as World Trade Organization. It was established in the year 1995, and here it is basically the successor of the GATT. You can say that like it is like that, the amendment has been taken place so much that now the name of the GATT has been changed to the WTO. There are few differences between these two that we'll be discussing in the last, the major differences, and these differences are being asked in the exam, that what is the major difference between WTO and GATT. We will be taking up that topic also. And here, right, in the at the very first go, 76 government has signed this WTO, has become the member of the organized. Basically that was an agreement, and now here the permanent body has been made, and here the organization has been made. There only the agreement was being made when the GATT was there. Now at till 2019, there are 202 countries which are the members of WTO, and there are 164 countries who are willingly to be there are 202 countries which are the members of the country, and there are 16 countries who are not willingly to become the members of WTO. Right now we are having 164, rest is on the application basis. The countries has given the application. Basically when when the country want to become a member of WTO, what they want, they have to go through these 6 procedures. They are giving the application, then application will be given to the general council boards, then the general council board is going to give that application to ministerial board, then then some checks are being made, then they have to submit some subscription forms and everything, whatever. After that, when they see that it is as per the condition, they can, then at the 6th round they can become the member of the country. Now at this time point, the Director General of the WTO is Roberto Azevedo. Basically, in WTO, the languages which are being there is French, Spanish, and English is well known. And this is a Spanish person who is now the Director General of WTO. Let's talk about the next thing over here. What is the objective? Basically, whatever the objective that the GATT is having, same objective is being there in the WTO, but with a with more perspective and more defined way. First, to improvise the standard of living of the member country. Definitely, they want that every member country should have less of the poverty, less of the unemployment, and because of that, their next objective is to ensure full employment and increase of effective demand. Basically, if the effective demand is what? The demand which is there in the economy and which is actually being made by the customer. It is not that it is an artificial demand that is being made. So here, when the effective demand will be there, there will be more production, and if there will be more production, you will be needing more of the people. So here in this case, there will be definitely, when the production is there, the employment level will be more. To enlarge, the next is to enlarge the production and the trade of goods. The major thing to improvise the international trade. Next is to increase the trade of services. Basically, Gatt was only confining themselves to the goods, but here the WTO is also seeing the trade of services. Basically, here we'll be talking about copyright, intellectual property right, trims, everything will be there in this. Next, here also they want to make an optimum utilization of the world resources, then protect the environment. Basically, their motive is to accept the sustainable development. Sustainable development means that it's not the only the development of the organization, but also the development of the economy, of your environment, and the people who are related with the companies and the organization. So their main motto is international trade, plus their main motto that the growth of their member countries and the sustainable development. The functions, we will be talking about this thing in the next lecture, and then we will be also discussing the structure of the WTO, that who are at the head and who are at the middle level or at the lower level. So for today's lecture, we will be ending up over here, and we will be continuing it in the next.